لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I think they forgot what you said. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khair. Just because we're going to be practicing the sunnah one at a time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I don't mean to correct the imam and the sheikh. I'm not a sheikh. I talk a lot and I present Islam not because I have to, but because I'm required to. Not because I want to, but because I'm required to. Brothers and sisters, as the imam mentioned, my name is Abdul Al-Mamoon. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the Muslim League of America. And inshallah this year I've made the intention of going to Hajj with Madani Hajj group inshallah. And those of you that are going with this group will be there with you inshallah ta'ala. Now, as our dear beloved Imam Zakir mentioned, that this is the fifth pillar of Islam. This is to fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not going to go into the ritual aspects of Hajj or the fiqh behind it. What I will be talking about is the responsibilities that you and I have as Muslims, as the people that have uttered La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There are certain obligations that you and I have. Obviously, when we have made the testament of La ilaha illallah, that requires you to do certain things. First and foremost is as-salah, meaning that you have to be praying. Right? If you leave that, you're no longer testifying. If you leave zakah, you're no longer testifying. If you don't perform Ramadan or fasting in the month of Ramadan, you're no longer testifying your iman. Similarly, if you do not perform Hajj and you're qualified or you have the fulfillments that requires you to fulfill Hajj, you're no longer testifying. As Muslims, regardless of our nationality or ethnicity, our first identity is we are Muslim. Right? As Muslim, Hajj is mandated upon us because that's where we're going inshallah. And what is that mandate? What is that mandate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to do? Which is that we have to fulfill the tradition that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us and showed us. My dear brothers and sisters, as our Imam Zakir mentioned, almost everything, that is performed in Hajj goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam, goes back to his tradition, goes back to the tradition that his family showed us. And as a result, brothers and sisters, we need to take those lessons, take those efforts, and bring that back in our lives here. Because Hajj is not the end of it. I know many times we say that people that go to Hajj, they are pure. No, my dear brothers and sisters. Sinners go to Hajj, and the ones that come back from Hajj are sinless, or attempt to be sinless. That's what we ask, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes our Hajj Mabrur. Say Ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, when we're coming back, this is something that I wanted to share with you, because I flew from Dallas, Texas to talk to you about this. Which is that, mashallah, an approximate number, there's no official number, but speaking to the various different travel companies across America, the Muslim travel companies, they say that approximately anywhere from 55,000 to 60,000 American Muslims go to Hajj every year. Subhanallah. Again, let me tell you the number. Anywhere from 55,000 to 60,000 American Muslims go to Hajj every year. Takbir. Now, brothers and sisters, do you think when they come back it's easy? I'm sorry, it is not. I want to tell you why. As my introduction was, my name is Abdul Al-Mamoon and I represent the Muslim League of America, which basically means we help Muslims who face legal challenges and difficulties. Subhanallah, in the last 4 or 5 years, in fact it's been a little bit longer, but more vibrant now than ever before, HAJJ that are coming back from Makkah are facing difficulties. Meaning, if you're leaving America, that means that there's no issue. Right? All of a sudden, many pilgrims, people that have performed the Hajj, are now all of a sudden on the no-fly list. Do you know what that means? They can't come back to America. There are people that are US citizens that are stuck in the border crossing for 12 hours. All of a sudden. Why? See, when those issues occur, you have rights. You have rights. and we want you to take advantage of those rights. If some difficulty occurs, meaning that when you have your boarding pass and there's a 4 letters of SSSS, or better known as quad S, you should note that, take pictures of that. And when you come back, make sure that you take some action. Why? Because they are not supposed to be doing that. When I say they, I'm talking about the authorities. And as Muslims, we have an obligation to fight back. We have an obligation to push back. Because that is what Hajj teaches us. Meaning that we are supposed to establish justice. Meaning that we are supposed to only bow down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, if we do not acknowledge these facts in front of us, then we are in denial, right? And the fact is that as Muslims, it is tougher to be Muslim today than any other time because of all the difficulties. But if you hold on to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you're convinced and convicted with this notion, it becomes easy. But at the same time, there's responsibility. Because brothers and sisters, the Prophet ﷺ is the best of creation. The best of creation, there is no denying. His followers, his companions was the best of generations. And after that, the best of generations. Yet they had to draw blood. Yet they faced difficulties. Yet they faced punishment. We are nowhere near them. Do you think we'll get off easy? Absolutely not. And for us, we need to take action. And the way we take those actions is by making sure that our brothers and sisters take legal, legal precautions. First thing is this. When you're coming back from Hajj, if border crossing asks you for your phone, you have to give them. But you don't have to open up the password. If they don't take a laptop, but if you do take a laptop, they may ask it, they may seize it, but you don't have to give them the password. And if you don't give them the password, they have the right to confiscate. They don't have to give it back to you. What attorneys tell you is that you don't need your expensive cell phone. Take a cheap phone that you don't want to use if you have contacts. Now, what I also want to share with you all is that as people that are going to Hajj, one of the things that you should realize is that there are people that can help you. If you need our contact, if you need our help, we're here for you. There are many organizations, Muslims and non-Muslims, who are fighting against this. Because brothers and sisters, remember, when our current president made the statement of Muslim ban, hundreds and thousands of Muslims and non-Muslims surrounded airports all across the country, right? So there are people that are here to help you. So I just want to let you know that we're here for you as well. If you need my card, I have some brochures and my cards. You can take that, and there we can help you. And lastly, before I conclude, a very knowledgeable brother taught me something about Hajj, and that is, make sure you have no fikir, no worries. All you have to do is zikr, right? Just utter that in your head, because it is the intention of Allah to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That it is not to worry, it is not to be concerned about what's happening, but just have patience, have sabr, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.